Here is the problem with CNN. They claim to care about the divide in our nation. In fact, they accuse President Trump of dividing our nation, but actually, CNN is the one dividing our nation by telling lies in order to make people angry at President Trump because CNN doesn't like Trump. First, CNN spent more than 2 years peddling the Russia collusion narrative, including publishing stories that were known to be lies. Then, during the Kavanaugh hearings last year, CNN practically tripped over themselves, giving creepy porn lawyer Michael Avenatti a platform to spew his garbage allegations that Kavanaugh ran a gang rape ring. Who believes that? Last week, pundits on CNN have been practically giddy at the idea of an economic recession because you know what that means? Who cares about all the sorry people who would lose their jobs or their homes or their life savings? It would make Trump look bad. And that's all that matters, according to CNN. And to top it off, yesterday on CNN's Reliable Sources, a guest, a psychiatrist, accused President Trump of being worse than Hitler, saying Trump may be responsible for killing more people than Hitler, Mao, and Stalin put together. And CNN's host, Brian Stelter, did not interrupt him or correct him or stop him. Watch.
The second issue is that calling Trump crazy hides the fact that we're crazy for having elected him, and even crazier for allowing his crazy policies to persist. Trump is as destructive a person in this century as Hitler, Stalin, and Mao were in the last century. He may be responsible for many more million deaths than they were. He needs to be contained, but he needs to be contained by attacking his policies, not his person. It's crazy for us to be destroying the climate our children will live in. It's crazy to be giving tax cuts to the rich that will add trillions of dollars to the debt our children will have to pay. It's crazy to be destroying our democracy by claiming that the press and the courts are the enemy of the people. We have to face these policies, not Trump's person.
Now, Brian Stelter claims that he was having tech problems during this segment and didn't hear what the psychiatrist said, and perhaps that's true, but who invites a guest on their show in the first place who says this sort of thing? It's all over the guy's Twitter account. All he does is call Trump Hitler. So don't act so surprised when he spewed this idiotic drivel on your show. What did you have him on the show to say? And why would you promote this particular part of your show, this clip, on Twitter if it was an accident and you didn't hear him? How low has CNN sunk that I actually have to ask this question? Do you know how stupid and insulting this is? Mao murdered up to 45 million people. Joseph Stalin massacred and starved up to 20 million people. And Adolf Hitler and the Nazis exterminated 11 million innocent people. To compare a president of the United States to the worst, the most evil men in the 20th century just because you disagree with our president's politics? What is wrong with you? Do you know how dangerous this is? Do you know how divisive this is? If you allow your guest to call Trump Hitler and Stalin and Mao and accuse the US president of mass genocide, how do you expect people to react? CNN claims to call an apple an apple, but if CNN is an apple, they are a poisonous apple rotten to the core, and this is your proof. And that's my final point.